Shalom, shalom, family. This is Soldier Shaqua Araya from Believers of the Way, Dallas. Getting our flyer mission, you know what I mean? Oh, put this away and get to work. Shalom.
This is your problem. You don't know the Bible because you don't read the Bible. And then you Christian apologists, y'all just start reading the Old Testament just so you can combat us. So you can thank us for that. Thank us for you getting a little bit more smart.
Now, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 16. Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law. Engraven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. Hey, that's why the Aztecas, the indigenous people, that's why we had to go to slavery. That's why the Spaniards had to come and conquer us, because we went off.
You see how they give us these items and these idols are idolatry. And it causes you to go into sin. And when you read Deuteronomy 28:15, God says that the reason why our people are punished, the reason why we're punished, the reason why we don't know no better is because we don't listen. Okay?
I said to my professor, why mourn the death of presidents, or anyone for that matter? The dead can't hear us. And he asked me if I believed in heaven. I said no. And when they asked if I had no faith in God, I said, you have it wrong. It's God has no faith in us.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. I am Shaqua Araya from Believers of the Way, Dallas. And I got a pretty good one for y'all, and I also kept the children in mind as well. You know, there's been many a times growing up that I kind of questioned when or if or how I could be able to laugh with the Most High or Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was pretty much feeling condemned to do so when I'm a very humorous person, and there's many humorous people out there. And you know, some of our elders was like super serious, like never really laughed that much that I've seen pertaining to the Bible. And the way my humor works sometimes, it's not in vain. It's just one of those, it's on a level of, if somebody trip and fall, I'm not gonna laugh until I know that they're okay, like they can get up or whatever the case in that area. You know, like I'm not gonna laugh if somebody's down and out, you know what I mean, or, you know, taken out, whatever the case. Nah, I don't find that funny at all. However, there are some things in the Bible that, me looking at it as a human being in the flesh, keeping it spiritual as well, with me in the human flesh thinking like, yo, I could see that happening. And no, the situation may not be funny, but the reaction to it just might be, you know. And I'd be thinking like, yo, man, like, what if I experienced that? And I look back at it later, you know, with my bruise or whatnot, or, you know, my rib and my children, we all just laughed about it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like, you're not laughing at your fellow brother and sister, your ox and aquatas, you know, in their demise and laughing. No, that's not it at all. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in, and please like and subscribe and share as well. However, if you want to be a part of the BOW Dallas camp, you could definitely hit us up at Believers of the Way Dallas 144K at gmail.com, and, you know, we can link up. All right, for sure. So let's go ahead and just drive right over to Numbers chapter 22 verse 21 through 34, and I'll give y'all my perspective on what I would think is humorous about it, and y'all could, you know, drop y'all, you know, thoughts in the comments of what y'all's are, because we all may not share the same perspective in humor, or there might be a certain part of it that is more funnier than another. So, you know, hey man, show some love, share your love. All right, see what you got. So again, Numbers chapter 22 verse 21 through 34. This is about Balaam's
Oh my God.
ass, his donkey. He talked back, but it wasn't just so much of that. It was what happened that kind of made it funny to me, you know. And you know, the Most High will send angels, you know. And let's just get into it. I'm sorry, no spoiler. All right, let's go. Chapter 22, verse 21. I think I want to start at verse 20 because, you know, the Most High gave an answer, so it kind of just flows into it. But I'd start at 20. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Shalaki. And God, verse 20. And Yahweh came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men call to thee, rise up and go with them, but yet the word which I shall say unto thee, thou shalt do. So basically he's saying, what he's telling him is, what I'm instructing you to do, you better do it. Like, do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no ifs, ands, or rounds about it. You know what I mean? Like, no distractions, whatever, make it happen. That's what he's saying. All right? Now, verse 21 is where I wanted to really start at. Verse 21. And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. Verse 22. And Yahweh's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding up upon his ass, and 2 servants were with him. So he had, you know, 2 servants, you know, with him. You know, he wasn't alone, right? All right, verse 23. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. Like, could you imagine? Like, you got this going on. Like, you had this assignment that the Most High, you know, put you to, and you're on the way. But the Most High sends an angel of the Lord that the donkey recognizes. Like, wait, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Now, there's quite a few precepts that describes, you know, what an angel would look like. You know what I mean? There's many types, many different forms. We understand that. However, the depictions that we've gotten, you know, and I'll put the precepts, a couple of them, you know, in the corner somewhere. However, well, I'll put, you know, I'll put these precepts somewhere in the video. So, there's nothing like seeing an angel of the Lord that the Most High actually, you know, described in the Bible. Like, could you imagine seeing an object or a human with all eyes? Like, you know, it's just like different things, you know, that would probably freak you out. But for the donkey to see it and ran the other way, and he had to, like, you know, he had to pop him, you know what I mean? He had to smote him, you know what I mean? Like, yo, what you doing? Come this way, you know what I mean? And I mean, I can keep reading on a little bit, but it's so much more I want to tap into. But you should really, you know, tap into that, because that was kind of funny to me. You know, like, hey, if you got a pet, a dog or something like that, and the dog ain't trying to come, you're like, yo, come on, man, we got something to do. I just thought that was funny. But another one that I thought was a little humorous was when Elijah was roasting the false prophets, man. Like, we can get that in 1 Kings, but man, like, I ain't gonna say when I first read that, because it didn't catch on to me like very well when I first read it. I ain't gonna lie, it just kind of went over my head. But I think after I matured quite a bit, and I heard a part of the story, and it got me curious, you know, to look into it. Well, I was introduced to it. I can't say I heard about it. I was introduced to it a certain way, and it got me to look into it, and I wanted to, you know, bring it out to y'all. And basically, when Elijah was roasting the false prophets, if you look at us today, yo, we are like the kings and queens of roasting. You know, Israel, we will make you feel bad, like so bad. And we do it for fun. It's not even to like really hurt anybody's feelings. It's more so it's something that can't really be explained. You know, maybe somebody can help me out. But you know, we used to play the Dozens. Hey, the Wayans brothers, they had a book. I think it was called the Dozens or something like that. But they had a book just full of roasting jokes, and you could tell these are the jokes that they would say to their siblings all around the house. And look where the humor got them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, you know, be a part of the stage of the world, but I'm just saying, or be in the stage of the world. It's not that. I'm just saying, like, they have a very, very deep sense of humor, and it brings their family together in such a way. Is what I really want to say. So let's go to 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 25 through 27. Let me see. Here we go. How y'all feeling out there? Y'all good? Y'all good? Holla at me. All right, here we go. Yeah. All right. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you one bullock for yourselves, and dress it first. For ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. Verse 27. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awakened. Like, you know how, like, not only embarrassing to the false prophets, but how accurate Elijah is on calling them out like that. Like, first off, if y'all don't know about Baal, you know, the golden calf and things like that, y'all should really check out the movie 10 Commandments. I know it's dated, but who cares, right? The people in it don't even look like the right people, so let's start there. But it's the message at hand, you know. It's a scene where Moses goes to, you know, visit the Most High again, Yahweh, and actually no, yeah. This is when he already had parted the Red Sea, and the Israelites had made it out of Egypt, and this is when they figured to create another god. And the way they did that was so crazy, because if you look at times of today, you can see a similarity to it. And you know, to give you a good perspective, a lot of our people do not at all take for an account that just because you look at things today in real time, green trees, blue sky, vehicles of today, modern clothing of today, the way we move through society today, the way our laws is today, somehow we find a way to separate times of old that is reoccurring today. Like, if you watch a black and white TV, you wouldn't think that was 40, 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like to how all black and white TVs were. But just because we have biblical prophecies that we haven't seen yet, or we're looking at ancient history facts in the Bible as well as artifacts in current times, doesn't mean that it did not happen because you wasn't there. A lot of people really put their minds to, if they wasn't there, it didn't happen, or it didn't happen so severely. Yes, it did. You know what I mean? Like, you got people screaming about DEI. That is a water drop compared to what we've been going through. You see what I'm saying? Oh, it's real because you're going through it now. Man, yo, imagine having to flee out of Egypt through 2 huge building size, like large size of walls of water. You know, that really happened. So, and many still didn't believe. Look, they created a golden calf for God. So I think it's funny here where he's just mocking them like, yo, where you at? Like right when he said, what should we say? So like in verse 26, the prophets, they took the bullock which was given to them, and they dressed it and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, oh, Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, no answer, nothing. Like, they leaped on the altar, nothing happened. And they put all that work into it, dressed it up, and put all their hope and faith into it. No response. And Elijah's like, yeah, your God ain't real. My God is on point. So, I thought that was funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing happened. They thought they was doing something too. All right, let's go to number 3. Remember when I was saying the situation really don't be funny, but it's like the reaction to it kind of is like, I don't know. This is me. All right, let's go to Acts, right? Let's go to Acts chapter 20. Let's get over there real quick. 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, Acts 20. I'm tripping. My bad, y'all. Right on the money. All right. Let's go to verse 9 through 12. And it reads, and there sat in a window a certain young man named Eutychus, Shalakia, being fallen into a deep sleep. And Paul was long preaching. He sunk down with sleep and fell down from the 3rd loft and was taken up dead. What? What's funny about that? That's not the funny part. That's not funny at all. And I'm going to read it again just to show you that I don't find this funny. This part, I don't find funny. All right, I'm going to read it again. Acts chapter 20, verse 9. And there sat in a window a certain young man named Eutychus, being fallen into a deep sleep. You know how like when you be dozing off and you like, or you sitting in your chair like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, this is where he was. He had been fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching, he sunk down with sleep and fell down from the 3rd loft and was taken up dead. So while Paul was preaching, how many of y'all done been in church, right? How many of y'all done been in church? How many of y'all done been in church and y'all done, you know what I'm saying? Or fell out, you know, like, or something, right? And you got somebody tapping you or giving you a piece of candy, keep you awake, what have you, right? So this is what, you know, Eutychus is going through. Not really going through, but this is his moment at time, right? Moment at hand. All right, So as Paul was long preaching, Eutychus sunk down, and he basically just he dozed off, fell straight to sleep, but he fell out the window from the 3rd floor of his loft. He had a loft. All right, so for y'all heathens out there, to y'all other nations who say Israel was always poor and broke, and no, a lot of us had some dough, you know. But yeah, anyway, he fell from the 3rd floor of his loft, right? And he was taken up dead. So they was like, yo, he dead, man. He gone. That's not the funny part. I'm a little ahead of y'all, sorry. Shalakia. Alright, now verse 10. Alright. Hold up. Alright. Verse 10. And Paul went down and fell on him, and embracing him said, trouble not yourselves, for his life is in him. Now, Paul's been preaching, right? And this happens. He stops preaching to address this situation. He fell on top of him and he's embracing him, saying, yo, like, he's good. Like, life is still in him. He's not gone. He ain't deleted. He ain't dead. He ain't gone yet. You know, hold on, you know. And he's crying out this, right? Okay. All right, so now verse 11, it reads, when he therefore was come up again and had broken bread and eaten and talked a long while, even till break of day, so he departed. So that, like, so, you know, as he, you know, came back to life, you know, Paul talked with him, broke bread with him, chilled with him for all day, basically, all day. And, you know, then he left. You know, he left. He probably went back preaching, or it's been to be believed that he went back to preaching, and I believe that's funny. Verse 12, and they brought the young man alive, and were not a little comforted. So they were good, you know. They brought him back alive and everything like that. But to me, the funny part to me was that when he brought him back to life, he chilled with him. Like, could you imagine the questions you could ask that person? Like, bro, what was you thinking dozing off in the windowsill? You know what I'm saying? Like, who does that? You know, like, didn't you feel yourself getting sleepy? Like, if you feel yourself getting sleepy, don't do that. You know, I could have just left you there, but I didn't. Now, let's talk about the fruits of the Spirit. And then, you know, just going there to make sure your life is in good hands. You definitely gonna make sure you follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments if you haven't been already. Like, yo, that was a close call. Because if I wasn't there, you wouldn't have made it. You don't make it. So, yeah, I thought that was a funny part to me. That when he, you know, like, when he brought him back to life, the way my brain working humor is, I wonder what was the things he asked him. Like, what did he say to him to, like, you know, get through to him not to do that again, and also to show him brotherly love, to show him love and things like that. Because if you're breaking bread with a person all day that you never met, you know what I mean, under certain circumstances, yeah, like, you kind of wonder what was being said. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you do that again, you know it's over, right? You know, yeah. So I know my people was gonna roast the crap out of me for that. You know, like, dude, really, man? You lucky Paul was there. You lucky Paul was there, dude. You blessed, not lucky. You blessed Paul was there. So yeah, you know, I mean, just to go out until midnight, man. Yo, that's funny. I'm sorry. Maybe y'all have a different perspective, or maybe nothing at all. That's fine, you know. All right, let's go to number 4. This one's about Sarah. Sarah laughing at Shalaki hiccups. It's like hiccups in air. It's weird. Which hiccups is air? Whatever. Bruh. I can't really explain it. But anywho, this one's about Sarah. And Sarah pretty much laughs at the Most High because she didn't have an understanding of what the Most High was trying to tell her or get her to see or to do. And, you know, a lot of times when we don't understand our assignment, we either get mad about it, we don't do it, or we laugh about it. One of the three. And in this case, the Most High wasn't feeling her laughter, but, you know, let's get into it. Let's go to Genesis chapter 18, verse 9. All right, here we go. And we're going to read all the way through 15. Verse 9, Genesis 18, verse 9. And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee, according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Right? Verse 11. Now, Abraham and Sarah were old. Keep in mind, they were old. And were stricken in age, which means they were very old. And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Alright? This is where it gets different. Like is it that we'll see, we lived a very long time at that time, so we lived way longer than what we do now. Alright? Therefore Sarah, verse 12, therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah... Wait a minute, what? Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of assert... Verse 13. And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a certainty bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, nay, but thou didst laugh. Come on, man. Let me slow this down for y'all. So, the bottom line is, the Most High told Abraham and Sarah, well, really, he told Abraham that Sarah was going to have a child. Like, yo, whew. Now, Abraham didn't say anything. Sarah was the one that was listening because she was behind the door. She was behind the door that Abraham was standing in front of. So it wasn't like she was eavesdropping in a way, yes, but she was just there. She just happened to hear that. But you know, ladies, sisters, y'all know when y'all hear something, before y'all can get the full understanding of certain things, men can do it too, but I'm just saying in this particular instant, right? You know, you can have the tendency to think further than what's being projected, and you come up with your own analysis to conclude with, and that's the story made up within your mind, which will make you go kind of out of your element, if you will. And because Abraham was getting the assignment, it wasn't even really an assignment. He was just getting the notification like, yo, she gonna have a child, so get ready for it. The reason why he didn't tell Sarah, which is like the reason why Yahweh didn't tell Noah's wife nor family any of the instructions first, because the man is equipped and designed to withhold certain information and deliver it the way it can be handled to others. The Most High is not going to talk to the head of the household. Usually he's not going to talk to the head of the household the same way he would talk to the rest of the household. Yeah! It doesn't mean he wouldn't do it. It's just a thing of, I know what my son heard. I know what he know what I meant. I know he know how to handle it. I delivered the message to him. Now he has to carry it out amongst the family the way it's needed to be done, without undermining what I have instructed or told him to do. So what I'm saying is, when she heard that she was going to be having a son, she's like, yo, wait a minute. Not only am I old, but I'm waxing old. I'm like at least 80. I'm not saying that was her age, but, you know, just saying, right? Imagine you being 80, 90, 80 years old, having a child, you know, a son at that, you know, and you're going to be living long enough to raise him, right? Yeah. So when she laughed, she knew she wasn't supposed to after she did it. It's like when, you know, when your parents, this may not be every parent, but some of y'all, if you know, you know. when your parent hurt themselves in some kind of way and you thought it was kind of funny how it happened and you laughed, and then she give you that look, or your father give you that look, and you like, I shouldn't have lied. That's pretty much what she went through. That's exactly what that was. But she lied to the Most High and said, I didn't lie. I didn't lie. What? Most High said, yes, you did. You did lie. I mean, he said, nay. Verse 15, he said, nay, but thou didst laugh. That one was funny to me. He said, nope, you laugh. You know, I thought that was funny right there. He could have did anything at that moment, but he just responded like, nah, yeah, you did. Yeah, you laughed. So that was funny to me. You know, y'all could, you know, tell me what y'all thought about that. Okay. Number five, right? This right here was kind of funny to me. This is coming out of the book of Judges. This is when Ehud, he had a bathroom incident. And let's get the Judges real quick. Hold on, though. But I just want to let me see. But I just want to get what y'all think so far. Put in the comments on what y'all think. Shalakia. My hands is super ashy. I know I probably shouldn't display that, but super slippery on the pages. I don't be trying to do this a lot. I don't like doing that a lot because of germs. Should get like a moist paper towel or something. But anyway, let's go to Judges chapter 3, verse 15, and let's see what's funny about this one. Verse 15 through 25. All right. Okay, so basically this is when, what's funny to me is Ehud, you know, he tries to assassinate every overweight king. Like, I know that sounds kind of crazy. It is, actually. It's very wild. But he tried to assassinate every overweight king. And what's funny is what happened to one of the overweight kings when Ehud tried to, like, assassinate him with his blade, with his sword. Okay. All right. Judges chapter 3, verse 15 to 25. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, and a Benjamite, a man left-handed. I'm left-handed. Shalakia. All right, let's go to chapter. Let's go to Judges chapter 3 and 15. Let's see what happened. All right. Verse 15. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. I'm left-handed. Dope. And by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Shalakia, Eglon, the king of Moab. Verse 16. But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did grit it under his raiment upon his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bare the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. Okay. Verse 20 is when it start turning up. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his left hand, and took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. Verse 22. And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed up upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch, and shut the doors of the parlor upon him, and locked them. When he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw that, behold, the doors of parlor were locked, they said, surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber. And they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them. And behold, their Lord was fallen down dead on the earth. Like, I know that was a lot, but I had to bring it into perspective. You go to the king of Moab, Eglon. He's a very overweight guy. And you surprise attack him by, because usually you pull the dagger or sword out of whatever hand you are. If you're right hand, you put out your right side. Pull out your left. If you're left hand, you put out your left side. That's usually the thing to do. But he pulled his dagger from his right thigh and then stuck him. Like, bam. But then the blade got stuck in his fat, yo. If that's not funny, because he couldn't get it out, and then we got it out, dirt came out. That's funny. That part to me was funny. I mean, initially reading it, I was like, like you had one of those moments. You know, I thought that was funny. Yeah, so, you know, for a blade to get stuck in somebody's belly fat when you're trying to assassinate them is just wild. It's wild to me, man. All right, let's carry on. All right. Number 6, right? I had to write, you know, these numbers down, make sure I ain't forget none or what have you. Number 6. This one is coming out of Luke. This is when Christ's disciples is arguing amongst each other on, you know, who's the greatest, like which one of us is the greatest, you know, beside, you know, standing on the side of Christ, you know, like which one of us is the greatest. Which is funny because if you're a disciple, you are great. And if you look at it amongst your peers, or if you look at it in your life, whatever, you shouldn't really try to put your mindset on who's the bestest friend, or who's the greatest out of all of us. No, all y'all great. All of y'all serve a purpose to create the cycle of whatever y'all trying to do to get to y'all goal. Like, one person knows computers, one person knows networking, one person knows finance, one person knows law, one person understands basic human intelligence, one person understands feminine anatomy, and you know, so for everybody has their own different field of what they're great at, and they could delegate their stuff to their team to get stuff done. But overall, it becomes a molded nucleus of a great team. And that's what that is. But let's get into it, though. All right, let's go to Luke, chapter 22. Hold up. Let's go to Luke, chapter 22, verse 24. Yes, let's go to Luke 22 and 24. We're going to read just that. All right. Well, I mean, there's more. I'm gonna just give you, like what I thought was like funny. All right, verse 24. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. Verse 25. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat? Shalaki, it's a question. Is not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Now here's the thing. This is what was funny to me. The disciples is having this argument about who's the greatest, like they had beef with each other for a minute on who was the greatest, like straight, real core, hardcore beef. Not like they was fighting, like it was just strife. Strife is not good. Strife is beef in a different way, or it's just something, like difficult to get through, or something, whatever. But they had strife, and it wasn't good amongst themselves. And then Christ stepped in at verse 25 and let them know what it was. You know what I mean? Like, look, like, how are you the greatest and you're a servant? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a servant and I'm not the greatest. The Most High is the greatest. How can you be the greatest and you're serving? Like, that doesn't correlate. The math ain't mathing, people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Like, I thought that was funny. I really did. Because that's so like us, man, to be arguing and starting strife over something so small, like nothing real. Like, what are you gonna gain at the end of that? Okay, so you are the greatest. Now what? Can you get out of this hellhole planet? Can you restore our status back to where it originated, where it originally was when we was in rulership as Israelites, the 12 tribes? Can you? I mean, can you say, hey, Yahweh Shah, you ain't even got to get off the throne. I got it from here. Can you do that? Are you willing? Are you trying to do that? You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much where that was funny to me at, because that reminded me of our people, like mosquitoes. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was funny at that part. That's how we get down. All right. So number 7. All right. This is coming out of John. Right. And what I thought was funny about this, I could be accident prone sometimes. As many of us are. I don't care. I'm going to call it like it is. I'm going to say it. I ain't proud, yo. I ain't too proud to say it. I can be accident prone. Whether it's something I'm doing or something I'm thinking and whatever. It happens, man. But in this case right here, the situation got fixed, but I'm just going to take y'all there. Let's go to John 18:10 when Peter cut off the ear. Now, a lot of us may have heard somewhat about this story, but let's just get straight into it. All right. Let me see. Where should I start? Let's just start at 10. All right. John 18:10. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant name was Malchus. Verse 11. Then Yahushua said unto Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath, and cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? Like, yo. So basically, Peter, the funny thing about Peter in this moment is when he cut off the ear, I can only imagine the look on his face. Like, but then, you know, Christ put it back on. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm trying to see, let me see. Nah, I mean, there's no saying on, you know, what his initial reaction was, like, you know, his facial expression and stuff like that. But you know, the fact that he just did that, right? Like, like to cut off somebody's ear by accident because he was aiming for his head. Like, oh man. Well, I mean, okay. It's not saying that he was aiming for his head. I'm just thinking of my head. Like, I'm trying to like get the humor to where I actually see it. Like, he cut off his ear like as if he had bad aim or he was aiming for his head. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. That's just funny to me. Like, you could have did better. You could have did better, right? Let's go to number 8. All right, this one is Jonah. This is when Jonah was running from the Most High. Let me see. Sometimes, let me see. I don't really go to Jonah much, but I get there. No, it's not. Oh. Hold up. 1 second. There we go. It's right next to Amos. Jonas is not really that big of a book, though. It could slip right by you. Oh, I'm sorry. I told you my fingers a little slow. All right. Ugh. I hate that. Shalakia, y'all.
A few moments later.
There we go. Yeah, Jonah's not that big of a book. It's almost like just 2 pages, you know. But Shalakia. My bad. All right, let's go to Jonah 1. And we're going to, we could read it, but I want to get straight to the point. Hold on. Jonah verse 1 and 1. Jonah chapter 1 verse 1. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. So at this point, Shalakia. All right, let's go to Jonah chapter 1 verse 1. I want to show y'all something real quick. Watch this. Verse 1. Now, this is God's command to Jonah, right? Check this out. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. So the fact that Jonah tried to run from the Most High is hilarious. Like, yo, look how he tried to do it though. Look, if y'all wasn't paying attention, watch this. Verse 3, but Jonah rose up to flee into Tarshish, right? Right? Okay. He rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa. So he went to Joppa as he's fleeing from the Most High, so he thinks he's doing that. He runs to Joppa, right? He flees down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish where he was trying to go. So he paid the money to get on that joint, and he went down into it. He went down, he went to go with them, whoever was on that boat, to Tarshish, or everybody was going with them to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. But this is how dope the Most High really is, though. So verse 4, that to me is funny. That you think you could run from the Most High, that is hilarious. That's an all-time classic joke. But check this out, verse 4 though. It's a mighty tempest though. Like, all right. But the Lord sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. That water was going to tear that ship up. Verse 5, then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man unto his God, with a little g, unto his God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea, to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. So Jonah was asleep throughout all this, while everybody was going through the motions and terrible. They shit about to break up. Like, Jonah knocked out because he figured that's the least of a problem type thing. So he good. He knocked out. You don't even know what's happening. All right. Verse 6. So the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, what meanest thou, O sleeper? Like, why are you asleep, man? Why are you asleep? Like, that's pretty much what's going on right now. Arise, call upon thy God, big G. All right? If so be that God will think upon us, that we perish not. And they said, everyone to his fellow, come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. Shalaka. For who caused this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. All right. Now this is the cause of the evil, right? Verse 8. Then they said unto him, tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation? And whence comest thou? What is thy country? And of what people art thou? They're like, yo, what is going on? Ever since whoever got on this boat, man, whoever is in here, what do you do? Who are you? Where did you come from? What? That's pretty much what's happening right now. All right. Yeah. Verse 9. And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew. This is what he said. This is what Jonah said. And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew, and I fear the Lord God of heaven, with the big G, which have made the sea and thy dry land. Which is true, the Most High did create the sea and the dry land, right? Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, Why hast thou done this? Like, why? Like, why is your God doing this? Like, what happened? What did you do? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of the Lord, because he had told them. So Jonah told him, like, yo, I'm kind of running from God right now. So sorry, right? Wow. Verse 11. Then they said unto him, What shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempestuous. So basically, the men on the ship is asking Jonah, like, yo, like, all right, what should we do about this? Should we cast you into the water, like so the sea could be calm for us? Like, what should we do? We can't have it. We can't keep this going. We can't have this. Nah. All right. So verse 12. Here we are. And he said unto them, Take me up and cast me forth into the sea. So shall the sea be calm unto you. The only way this is going to stop is if you get me off this boat, because the Most High ain't feeling me right now, and y'all is affected. And that's how that works too. Remember, keep this in mind. Just because you ain't doing the dirt, the person that's doing the dirt next to you, and you know they doing dirt in any kind of way, and you cool with it, the Most High going to he may, I'm not going to say he will, he do what he want when he want, if he don't want to do, whatever the case. He may incorporate that person's judgment onto you as well, and possibly your lineage on down. So be careful being around people that's doing dirt, and you ain't, I ain't gonna say like you ain't saying nothing, but you ain't removing yourself from that activity or correcting them so they don't do this dirt or create, heinous activity again, If you can't do nothing about it, if you feel like you can't do it, just remove yourself. Because the Most High will put that judgment with you, on you. You don't want that. But moving forward, I wasn't trying to go on that. I was just making a point, all right? Making a statement. So, he said, For I know that for my sake, this great tempest is upon you. Verse 13. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to bring it to the land, but they could not, for the sea wrought and was tempestuous against them. I mean, no matter how hard they try to row, the water was just too strong, right? Man can never beat Mother Nature, no matter how much we try. I think we can. We can't outsmart it and can't run from it, right? All right, so verse 14. Wherefore they cried unto the Lord and said, We beseech thee. And like, please, like we beg of you. We beseech thee, O Lord, we beseech thee. Let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood. For thou, O Lord, hast done as it pleased thee. So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from her raging. Then the men feared the Lord exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto the Lord and made vows. Now, okay, and then like verse 17, the verse we all may be familiar with. I'm just gonna throw this in there. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. All right, so the part that was funny to me was everybody's reaction, and then Jonah's reaction. Because Jonah knew why this was happening after he woke up. He didn't know what was going on because he was asleep. But he knew why this was happening after he woke up, and he just was like, yeah, I think I'm the reason this is happening, y'all. Sorry. I mean, I don't want y'all to do this, but the only way this is going to be fixed is if y'all throw me off this shit. How many of y'all would actually admit to such catastrophe in the middle of the ocean and then volunteer yourself to get thrown off the ship to die. Nah. Let's be honest. I don't think many of y'all would ever do that, but Jonah did. You know what I mean? Hey, I mean, I commend him for that. The honesty, man. The Most High took care of it. But you got to read chapter 2 all the way down. Jonah chapter 2, because, you know, Jonah prayed, man. Like, sometimes, man, you got to be really, the Most High got to humble your butt. You know what I mean? Like, for lack of better words, you got to humble your butt, man, for you to see how powerful he really is. It's sad it takes such, you know, force and strength of the Most High, which is nothing, but it's a lot for us, to get us to see how real he really is. Let's move forward. Number 9. All right. I like this one. It's funny to me, but I also like this one too. Like, this is a good life lesson for me, and hopefully for many. Let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew chapter 23. Let's get over to Matthew. Let's see. 23. Yeah. Matthew 23. All right, let's go to verse 24. Matthew 23, verse 24. All right. In verse 24, ye blind guides which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. That is hilarious to me, because our people will complain and have the biggest gripe about the smallest things, even if it's a bunch of small things, and you won't have a problem with this big old camel right there. Like, you won't have a problem with the biggest problem. I can't give you a scenario because some scenarios weigh heavier or non than others. It's just why life can be very difficult and complicated, but some of the things that we do freaking fuss and bicker about isn't really that big of a deal. So it's basically like the Pharisees is straining at gnats. You know what I mean? Like, that's a wild, you know, really, like, that's a wild analogy, like, biblical. It's a wild visual biblically, because, you know, being super about the tiny things, you know, while ignoring the massive things. Let that sink in. For many, looking at that is hilarious. But when you're doing it in real time, it may not be. But for me, even like when I'm doing something like that and my rib or my children or somebody pull my coat and let me know, like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect example. You know the scene on Jumanji when the boy, he was turned into a monkey at this point, but he had to get Robin Williams out of the floor. He had to go get an axe, and he ran to the shed to go get an axe, but it was an axe laying up against the shed, but there was a lock on the shed that was attached, it was locked. And he gets the axe and go to bang at the lock to get the lock off to get to the axe, and then he realizes he got it in his hand already. He like, so, he he's swinging at the little thing, which is the lock, but the biggest thing was the axe at hand, and he didn't even realize he had the axe. You know, I could see if the axe was in there, how would he get to it, whatever. But in this situation, I thought it was funny because he realized, you know what, there's a bigger issue at hand, and I already have it. Now I can hurry up and go, you know, get him off the floor. Yeah, all right. That's a little small, funny one for me. You know what I mean? But yeah. Number 10. You know how they say you got to save the best for last, right? Let's go to Mark. Let's go to Mark. Let's go to Mark. Stop it. At 14. My fingers are so slippery, man. Alright, let's see. Just when you think you're there, you're not there yet. Alright. Mark 14, let's go to 51 to 52. Here we go. All right. Verse 51. And there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth cast about his naked body. And the young man laid hold on him, and he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. So that was the verse that I thought was funny, but I'm going to back up and give you some context. It's like, what the heck happened? All right. Let me see. Where should I start? So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. There was a prayer in the garden. So, it goes from there. So, let's just start at verse 32. All right. Mark 14, verse 32. We're going to read on down. And they came to a place which was named Gethsemane. Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, sit ye here while I shall pray. That's what Christ told him. Sit ye here while I shall pray. And he taketh with him Peter and James and John, and began to be sore amazed to be very heavy. Verse 34. And said unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrow unto death. Tarry ye here and watch. And he went forward a little and fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, Christ said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what thou wilt. And he cometh and findeth them sleeping, and said unto Peter, Simon, sleepest thou? Couldest not thou watch 1 hour? Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. That's what Christ told Simon. Christ like, Simon, you sleeping? Why? Like, why are you sleeping? You couldn't watch for just 1 hour, man?
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, look, watch me pray. At least, you know, you enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but your flesh is weak. You know what I mean? And in verse 39, and again he went away and prayed and spake the same words. And when he returned, he found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. Neither wist they what to answer him. Neither wist they want to answer him. Means like they didn't even want to answer him. They was crazy sleepy. And he cometh the third time and said unto them, sleep on now. Christ said unto them, I got to put that out there. Sleep on now and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise up, let us go. Lo, he that betrayeth me is at hand. He like, all right, all right, get it together. You know what I mean? Like, he that betrayed me is right here. Like, verse 43. I'm trying not to go too far. Verse 43. And immediately while he yet spake, cometh Judas, one of the 12. Right? He's one of the 12 tribes, right? And with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. And he that betrayed him had given them a token, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Take him and lead him away safely. So that means anyone that I kiss is good. Take him and get him out of here. It's about to get ugly, right? All right. Verse 45. And as soon as he was come, he goeth straightway to him and saith, Master, Master, and kissed him. And they laid their hands on him and took him. And one of them that stood by drew a sword and smote a servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, are ye come out as against the thief with swords and with staffs to take me? I said staves, Shalaki, staffs. To take me? I was daily with you in the temple, teaching, and ye took me not. But the scriptures must be fulfilled. And they all forsook him and fled. And there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth cast about his naked body, and the young man laid hold on him. And he left linen cloth and fled from the naked. Like, running away naked is hilarious. Not streaking, like, not in this sense, because it was a real situation that happened. You know what I mean? Like, how could I paint this? Because I understand, I just read it. But it's like, to think that you know, to know, because I'm trying to get it to where, like, you could see it better. To know that somebody, right, came out against the thief, right? This is Christ talking. Like, are you, like, as a question, are you coming out as against the thief with swords and with staffs to take me? Like, are you trying to take me, like, as if I'm a thief and all that? Like what's going on? Because I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and you took me not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was teaching in the temple and I was cool. Why am I not cool now? Right? But the scriptures must be fulfilled. If you think about it, man, that's funny, because, you know, you had clothes on and now you're running away naked, right? The story at hand is not funny, but I just gave you context so you can see what led up to that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like, even in movies, like, you'll see, like, somebody getting in a jam, and, you know, they'll get away with whatever they have to get away with, you know, however that works. So this is just my, you know, my 10 things of the Bible that I thought was, you know, funny. Not everything in the Bible is funny. Not every situation is funny. You know, the Most High is not mocked. Okay, he is not mocked. So you have to be careful when it comes to humor. What I laid out was the reactions, and, you know, could you imagine if you was in this position, or you seen somebody in this position, and you like, well, dang, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a shocking thing to see in a moment, but then, you know how you get home, you like, oh, yo, and then this happened. Like, we telling somebody the story, in most cases, you're not as freaked out or shocked as you were in the moment, unless you just, you know, tell them, hey, I was vibed out, I was shocked like a mug, and then you tell them the story, you know, let them know, oh yeah, I was shocked. But yeah, you know, let me turn this here up, get some light. But yeah, you know, like there's nothing that that's in the Bible that, you know, you can't look at it, you know, in a realistic way. You know, whether it's good or bad, you know, because it's a lot of spiritual and it's a lot of carnal, you know, and there's things that happen that's not, you know, relatively funny, you know, at all. Like you can't even try to make light of certain things in the Bible. But, you know, like, I mean, when you got, you know, somebody that laughed at the Most High, not laughed at the Most High, but laughed at the fact that you just found out that you're of older ages and you about to have a son, you would laugh about that. You know what I mean? It's not everybody, but the fact that you laugh about that and then you tell, okay, it's really hot, Shalakia. And then like you laugh and you like, yo, I didn't laugh. But you know the Most High hears everything. You know the Most High hears it all. Like he yo, you did laugh. And the fact that you told me, like, as if I didn't know, is funny. You know, just little stuff like that. But that's my 10. If y'all have a 10 or anybody else have a 5 or less, you know, put it in the comments. You know, just put the scripture in there. You ain't gotta do all the detail, you know, the verse. You know, just put book, chapter, verse, and, you know, let me know what you think. I'll read it. All right. I hope everybody's been edified. In the way of, you know, learning, you know, the differences of humor in a way, you know, things that's okay to be kind of laughed about, you know, in a way. And hey, you know, there's plenty more to come, and got some shorts on the way, and see y'all soon. All right. Well, much love to y'all, Israel. Stay blessed. Stay loved by the Most High. That means keep doing the law, statutes, and commandments that he that he needs us to do, you know, that he's commanding us to do. All right, but I'm Shakur Araya from Believers of the Way, Dallas, and I'm saying shalom. Kwame Sharala.